Hi, this is Misha, and yet again I'm here with you, going to bore you with another offering by JDI, SAN Imports. This is the SG551P LB. We've done a number of videos on the different things that Dave down in Texas has brought in. And this was kind of the last of his promised guns from late last year, early this year. As with all these guns, they come in as pistols. Officially, there's no restrictions on how long a pistol barrel can be. Essentially, for any and every import, you have to submit a sample to the ATF and get approval. And we're talking even if just the difference is a name change. So it's really up to the ATF's discretion if they allow it or not. They have some point systems and some things. What happened, it actually wasn't Dave initially, a different company asked for approval to import a gun that was, I think it was about 32 inches long as a pistol and was granted. And when this happened, first Dave asked to bring over the 550, which has a 21-inch barrel, pretty dang long. He asked for this first for a couple of reasons. First, really because that's the gun people really want, because it's the iconic Swiss military STGW-90. And when he imported those, he told the factory over in Switzerland, Swiss Arms Neuhausen, formerly SIG, make it as close to military as we can, and that's what they did. And we have a video or two on that critter. You can see that. So after he had approval for a 21-inch barrel, then it seemed pretty safe to ask for approval for a gun like this, the 551 LB with a 17.8-inch barrel. Now, previously, back in 2017, JDI imported 51 551 SB short barrels with the carbine 14.3-inch, including the flash hider. So there was precedent for the gun. Basically, this is the exact same gun as those, but with a 3.5-inch longer barrel. Really all of these JDI guns come in without a stock. There's a plate on the back, but they are ready to have one plunked on once imported. All you have to do is drive out a couple of roll pins in the back here and take the plate off and put your stock on and put the pivot pin for the stock, and you are good to go. Now on a gun like the 551 SB, you still have a short barrel under 16 inches, so you have to do something about that. Either SBR it or put on an extension. Same goes for the 553 SB and the 553 LB. But the beauty of the 550 and now the 551 LB, we are very much over 16 inches. Like I said, we're just a smidge under 18, and that includes this rather long flash hider. Without the hider, we're actually at about a 16-inch barrel. So if this were removable, it'd be about a 16.5-inch barrel. So yeah, these just came in. The reason that SAN offers the 551 LB, the longer barrel, in addition to giving better range accuracy, also allows for launching of rifle grenades. You see the cutout here in the barrel. Even comes with the ring. And also the mounting of a bayonet. Got a surplus military one to show you here. Now, as you buy these, they do not have the physical lug with them, but they do have the ring on the block, and the lug just installs with the roll pin. And you can either get a Swiss lug for a bayonet like this, or a standard NATO lug to take M7, M9 type bayonets. So that's neat. The NATO lugs I have are made in the US by MFI, but Switzerland did also offer them. And that's really the difference. The 551 SB and LB, the only difference is the Slightly longer barrel, along with the extra features of being able to mount a bayonet and a grenade ring. We still have a flash hider. It is internally threaded, as you can hear there, for a blank fire device. Also, you can make a suppressor work there with it. We have a 551 carbine length gas system. We have front diopter sight with flip up night sight. Standard gas block with sling loop. We have an adjustable gas system, standard and adverse. Also, adverse is useful when dirty. The difference in the ports is not much. It's like 1.5 millimeter for standard, 1.6 for adverse, but a little bit extra helps. We have a braided recoil spring in there, standard handguards in black. These are the modern style that have the small holes if you want to mount a short Picatinny rail section. No cutout for a bipod, of course. We have a smooth top upper. We have the neat little Swiss crest on the top. Standard diopter rear sight with the night inserts. It also has the iris here, removable little iris. And you can mount a rail to this. There's a hard point back here, a hole. I'm gonna try to tilt this for you. There, that's one end, and the other end dovetails here. Some of the original mounts from the 80s fit tight, but anything newer made from the 90s on, like the Brugger and Thomats, the pick rails, will fit with no little trouble because they're adjustable. If you do put one on, know that you will scratch your receiver. Just one of those things. One thing that is a little different with this versus the 551 SB is the 551 SB had the more recent horizontal charging handle, which is starting to be used mostly on 553s with rails because of optics. This has the more traditional, slightly upswept handle, which I like, more of a classic style. As you see, it's in an all black finish. It does have the aluminum alloy lower made in Switzerland. This is machined, and it does save a lot of weight. At least it seems to. Now, Swiss Arms says it's about 120 grams, which really doesn't translate to a whole lot, about a quarter of a pound. But it feels lighter than that and more handy. And we've kind of speculated that's because the weight savings, is relatively minor as it is right here in the center area. It just really makes it in the pistol grip feel a little lighter and kind of floaty and more of a handy carbine. So initially I was actually going to put a black steel lower on this, but after feeling it, I kind of like it this way. It makes it just a handier little carbine. Maybe a quarter pound is the difference between feeling like a full rifle and a carbine. I don't know, but it really makes it feel nice. We have the standard rotating trigger guard. We have a somewhat adjustable trigger. The stop can be adjusted. Stock we already talked about. Of course, you have to buy this separately and add it yourself. Standard pistol grip with storage compartment inside. It's kind of nice. I keep a sight tool and a cleaning kit in there. And this feeds from standard Swiss mags. It comes with 130 rounder with the tabs to lock them together. They also, of course, make 20 rounds. They rock in kind of AK style, and they have a AK style release here. That is by default ambidextrous. The safety is ambidextrous. The, of course, slide release, the bolt release is not, it's just on this side. And because the charging handle is upswept, you can, in theory, reach around and grab it with your left hand, but it's not as convenient as right, but it's at least an option, kind of like on a Galil. So it's a relatively lefty-friendly gun, and it's not known for throwing brass in people's faces. So yeah, I know we've gone on quite a bit about Swiss guns, but it's interesting. Hey, these videos don't cost you anything. You can always skip, right? And I thought it was really worth showing that JDI has fulfilled what they set out. They, last year and into this year, said they were going to do the 550s. the 551 LBs, the 553 SB and LB in both flat dark earth and heavy metal. They have now delivered all of those products. I'm gonna be honest, for a little bit in the spring and early summer, it was looking kind of chancy. Things were behind schedule, not, and there was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, mostly to do with over in Switzerland. There was some new people in charge over in the export office. It takes time to find your feet at a new job. And, Swiss Arms is kind of still new at this, supplying the US game as well. So I think they're still finding their feet a bit. But after extended wait, guns really started to kind of finally ship, and pretty much all of these started to ship in July and August of this year. They kind of all came in at once, which is funny. Also, some parts are coming in. This bayonet lug is from JDI, SAN imports now. He's also carrying bolt groups and some spare parts like extractors and firing pins. He has lowers, handguards, and he gets butt stocks in, but they tend to sell out very quickly. So if you need a stock, best to get on a pre-order, back order list, because people really want these stocks for all kinds of different guns, including some of the US like SIG556s. And I'll conclude there. This gun is quite parts compatible with the SIG556. This is really what the SIG551-A1 was aiming to be, kind of a LB version. They even kind of made a flash hider similar to this for it. It didn't have the grenade hump, but the barrel is about the same. Had the same ring down here that you could put a bayonet lug on. Did not come with anything like Swiss quality diopters though. And the US handguards were pretty rubbish, frankly. US pistol grip was fine. It took these same mags. Even had a machined lower. Looked different than this, but similar general lines. And the 551A1 did come with this exact same fixed Swiss stock. Well, I thought this was worth a little video. Hope you thought so too. It's just a cool gun. In a way, I've kind of always liked the 551 LB the best, as I've said in previous videos. It's just a nice in between the 553 Commando, which is cool but very small and has limitations that all small guns do. And of course, I love the 550. It's a classic, but it is rather long and heavy and a little bit dated by today's standards. This gun here definitely splits the difference as a carbine. And of course, if you were to have this exact gun but with a pick rail instead and folding sights, then it would be quite modern and quite effective. Oh, and I didn't even mention, I guess it's kind of de facto. This fires 556 NATO, 223 Remington, has a 1-in-7 twist rate, and this is the so-called single piece barrel. Like I said, the flash hider is literally machined as part of the barrel. It's in no way removable because it's one solid piece from back here to all the way out here. Very impressive machining, honestly. Quality is great. Typical Swiss. Smooth bolt, nice trigger, no real play between upper and lower, minimal play in the handguards. The reason these tend to have play in the handguards to some extent is they're not screwed on or pinned on. They actually come off very easily for cleaning, but they're extremely secure. They're not coming off when the gun's assembled, but when you take the front push pin out, they slide right off for cleaning, which is nice if you want to really get down in there and do it. So that's why there's always a little bit of play in these. They have no up, down, or side, but there's just a smidge of front, back. Maybe a millimeter. But they're very secure. Alrighty, well, again, sorry, I figured this probably is kind of redundant and boring you guys, but hey, why not? But if you haven't checked out our previous videos, we'd appreciate it if you do so. I've just been really excited about the JDI SAN imports guns because so many people have promised to bring these in over the years, and they've all pretty much failed. The last Swiss guns before they used to come in were the DSAs back in the 90s. But Dave down in Texas made it happen, and he's not a big business, he's a small business, so it just shows you what determination and really a passion for doing something can kind of result in. Only 50 of these came in. So if you weren't on the pre-order list, sorry. But there might be conversion kits or other versions in the future because these have been very successful. All of the sand guns have sold very well in the USA. With diopters, pretty much the straight price for any of them is $3,400 plus shipping. For a rail, it's $3,200, and these are as pistols. And then buttstocks, you can find new buttstocks for about $3.25 or $250 if you get the adjustable. Or you can sometimes find used nice ones, like this one's actually used, a police gun, and those tend to be about $150 to $200. And there was a time when SIG Sauer USA was selling them for about $100 to $150. So you might find a few of those out there. So you're looking at a gun that, when it's all done, about $3,800 to $3,900 total. But compare that to a pre-ban 551 SP, which are bringing 10,000 up these days. So, it's all relative, and they're just very high quality guns. It's only money, right, guys? Well, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to help